ask questions, even the ones that make you sound so stupid. And this may sound really basic, but there's such a deep psychology behind this. Here's what happens in most people's lives. You have a conversation with someone, maybe they tell you something new, something that you haven't heard of before. And instead of asking them directly in that moment what that thing is, you just nod along and pretend that you know what they're talking about. Maybe in your head you're thinking, I'm gonna Google this later, for example, but then you never do. Maybe that thing was a small thing, maybe it was something significant, but you will never know because you never asked the question in the first place. Here's the root of why this happens, because it's never usually about the question that you're asking. It's about how asking in those types of scenarios makes you feel. Maybe you feel as if you should already know that question, the answer to that question, or maybe you think that that person's going to look at you differently, that they're going to think less of you, or maybe you think that just admitting the fact that you don't know something, maybe you feel internally like less. But this is all ego. The thing is, when you ask these questions, you actually unlock some benefits that you will never be able to see because you've never actually tried it yourself. So let me give you an example of the benefits of going through this looking silly phase, okay, of just asking these questions. Imagine, for example, you're in a conversation with someone and they're telling you about how to, for example, grow your biceps. And let's say, for example, you don't know what biceps are. A lot of people, they would just nod along and then they would just look it up later on Google. But say, for example, you actually go out of your way to ask that person, okay, what are biceps? All right. He might look at you and think, okay, why does this guy not know what biceps are? He might judge you, but the more likely scenario is that he will appreciate the fact that you're asking. It shows that you're actually more engaged in that conversation, as well as he actually respects the honesty as well. And a lot of the times when you're in this type of scenario and you ask the question and they act so normally and just respond so normally as if, okay, he doesn't know the answer, let me just explain. You realize that it was all just in your head, the whole situation of just, oh, he's going to judge me if I don't know the answer to this already. I'm telling you, it's actually not as deep as you think it is. And on the rare occasion where you're asking a question like this and then someone ridicules you for not knowing that, this is a reflection of them, not you. And don't let this one feeling, okay, because it may sting in the moment, right? You're thinking this guy's judging me because I don't know this, but would you laugh at them for not knowing certain things that they don't know? Because not everyone has full knowledge of everything. There's things that they know, there's things that you don't know, and vice versa. Because this is a reflection on them, you shouldn't let that insecurity stop you from learning things that you would never have learned otherwise. Now, let me give you an example of when this happened in my own life. So, imagine, I grew up Muslim, alhamdulillah. My parents, they sent me to mosque, right, to do Islamic studies, to learn Quran and everything like that. So I went, but obviously at that age, you're not really that interested. This is when I'm really young. And I just missed out on basic stuff that I should have learned. But obviously I just wanted to chill with my boys. So I wasn't really focused on the Islamic study side of things. And this came back in the future to bite me because I didn't know basic stuff that I should have known from when I was way, way younger. But then, years down the line, Allah brought me back to the deen, alhamdulillah. And this time when I came back, I actually wanted to learn because I was interested in it. Not because someone was telling me to do learning. Someone was telling me, okay, look, you have to look into this Islamic studies. Someone was trying to teach me Quran. Now it was actually from me and I wanted to practice myself. So now this is all good, right? But I wish that I learned all of the knowledge and actually focused in Quran class back in the day, because now I had gaps in my basic knowledge. But then growing up in that same environment, obviously everyone expected me to know everything from before, all the Islamic knowledge that I learned in mosque and stuff. So now I was there expecting to have all that knowledge, but I didn't know it myself. And that embarrassment of not knowing just the basics of Islam, obviously there were some basics I knew, alhamdulillah, because when you're growing up in that environment, you're going to learn a lot of stuff passively, but the stuff directly from the classes that I should have known, I didn't know. And this stopped me from asking people certain questions about Islam because I felt as if I should already know it, or I would just research myself. Like literally, like on YouTube, I would watch videos and stuff like that. I would look into the religion myself, even the basic stuff, because I just wouldn't want to tell anyone that I didn't know this already when I should have known it from before. Don't get me wrong, learning by yourself, it works, but it's so much more ineffective than if I was to have someone there by my side actually teaching me. I had people around me that were Muslim that I wasn't even asking questions to because of that ego, because of that barrier, because of that feeling of looking stupid and feeling of looking silly. It stopped me from learning so much. And eventually I did actually grow some balls, and I actually went and asked people questions that I should have been asking from the start anyway. And guess what? A lot of the time they never even knew the answers to those questions either. So it was all in my head. Like I'm telling you, you see the mind, it has so many mental barriers that you will never understand. So with this specific scenario, after I realized, hey, look, these guys, they don't even care the fact that I'm asking. And second of all, a lot of the times they don't even know the answer themselves. So I just started building the habit of, as soon as curiosity hits, just ask someone. Like as soon as you're in a conversation, you get curious about something that someone's speaking about, just ask in that moment. Because most of the time people don't even care. There is a reason that seeking knowledge is such a big part of the deen as well, right? This isn't just about like looking into only knowledge of Islam as well. This is in terms of everything, because imagine when you have to actually go out of your way and learn something, you have to have humility to understanding that you don't know it in the first place. Then your knowledge increases. Okay, and this humility is obviously a big part of the deen as well. So next time you're in a situation where you may feel small in the moment for not knowing something, just know it's an act of humility when you do ask. An act of humility can also be an act of worship. So just know that if you're doing it with the right intention, and then when you actually realize that you're learning something, and you do this again and again and again, and you build a habit of just asking as soon as you're interested in something and you're curious, then I'm telling you, you will go so far and learn so much that you'll look back and you'll be like, I'm so glad I started asking questions like that. It's such a powerful habit to build that so many people overlook. Now, if you bring this into business as well, this is so powerful because it opens so many doors. Think about all the books that you can read. There's unlimited books that you can read. Some things you're only going to find out through actual conversation. Maybe there's a mentor that you feel stupid asking a question to, but you ask it anyway, and then it expands your knowledge. These insights, they only surface when you're in a situation that someone's saying something and you stop the mid-sentence like, hey, wait a second. What did that mean that you just said? Okay, this will open so many doors. This information is only accessible to people who are actually going out of their way and willing to seek it. It depends how much you actually want this information and how much you want to learn. But most people, they pass this opportunity completely. And a lot of the times it's not because the person doesn't want to learn, and it's because not because they don't want to know about that certain topic, for example. It's because of, first of all, pride, and second of all, just that uncomfortable feeling. And if you do this again and again and you put in the reps of looking stupid in these certain scenarios, then I'm telling you, there's so many psychological benefits that you would never think of. You're breaking so many mental barriers, and everything starts with the mind. So just conquer your mind when it comes to these small things, because it's really not that deep. Let me give you an example, right? Just for some more context. Imagine you're a tourist in a different foreign country. You go there, you're going to be more comfortable to ask questions without any embarrassment because you're a tourist. No one expects you to know things around. So you're going to ask them, like, for example, where is this? What is this thing? How does this work? And you say it without embarrassment because you're expected to not know. But here's the thing. In this life, you're still a tourist. You were born not knowing anything, and you're going to leave not knowing everything. So why are you walking around your home city as if you shouldn't be asking questions to everyone? You understand? You need to be asking questions and act like a tourist wherever you go in life. So here's what this looks like practically, okay? As soon as that curiosity hits of you not knowing something, ask immediately. Don't ask later. Don't Google it once the conversation's finished. Ask right there and then. And two things will happen with this. First of all, you're going to build a tolerance to not caring about the opinions of others and just going through things that may feel uncomfortable. And this is always good for your brain to sharpen that edge. Second of all, the people around you, they start to see you differently. They start to see you as someone who genuinely wants to learn, that is genuinely interested in the conversations that you're having with them. And these are the people that get invited to places that more knowledge compounds. It opens doors for you in ways that you would never expect. Now, I want to speak to a very specific person who is watching this right now. If you are a service-based business owner and you're doing everything within the business yourself, so I'm talking about the service delivery, as well as the content, as well as the follow-ups of the clients that are coming in, as well as all of the admin work as well, then this is exactly what we help business owners free up their time with, so that they can actually focus on higher leverage moves that move the business forward. So what we start with is a free operations audit, where we go into your business, we identify the one task that is eating up your time and your cognitive load the most, and we make sure that you get properly out of doing this. So this means either we outsource it to someone who's going to do it better than you, that is going to free up your time. So a hire, for example, we integrate that into your business, or it is going to be an AI agent, or a mix of the two. It completely depends on your specific scenario. So that's why we do the audit first. We guarantee that this task is going to be off your plate within 30 days and is completely handled not by you anymore. So you're not doing it, you're actually overlooking it. If you want to learn more, then there's a link in the description for that.